When you think about customizing or decorating your car, what is one of the first names that comes to mind? Probably the reality TV show Counting Cars, which is not surprising given its popularity and longevity on the History Channel. It also made its host, Danny Koker, whom you may fondly remember as The Count, very famous. Koker's ability to take automobile modification to a whole new level using his years of experience and cutting-edge innovation made him a legendary figure in the industry. However, after the show ended in 2021, many rumors started flying around the automotive industry about the various tragedies that had befallen Koker. So, let's take a look at what devastating new details about Danny Koker are true or false. Before Koker became a reality TV star, musician, producer, celebrity mechanic, and owner of Count's Customs, he was just one of the newest babies in Cleveland, Ohio. Born on January 5, 1964, as Daniel Nicholas Koker II, young Koker grew up surrounded by classic cars and other automobiles because his father was employed at the Ford Motor Company, along with a good number of friends and family. As you would expect when children are fascinated with toys, Koker was curious to find out how these life-size toys worked. His father, having noticed his son's developing love for cars, decided to give him a cruiser as a gift. This was where it all began. Koker began to delve into automobile restoration and customization. Automobiles were his major passion, that was clear. However, just like his father, Koker loved music too. His father dabbled in music and was the baritone vocalist and keyboardist for the Cathedral Quartet, a well-known Southern gospel group. He even performed with a number of groups, including the Oak Ridge Boys, C.L. Franklin, Mahalia Jackson, and the Foggy River Boys. Aside from his individual pursuits in music, he was also the lead of the Koker family band, the Koker Family Singers, which included Koker himself, his mother, and siblings. So, it wasn't surprising that young Koker followed in his father's footsteps and, at the age of 11, played at Carnegie Hall. His interest in music only grew stronger with time. Entering into his teen years, Koker's education was basic shop and automotive studies at Valley High School, but his real learning experience was taking place outside school. He would watch his father work on antique cars and modify engines for hours at a time. He would learn from skilled mechanics and automobile experts too, helping disassemble vehicles and learning what various parts were and their functions. Young Koker was gaining knowledge about how these machines operated and how they could be restored when other people had given up on them. According to him, the only real schooling I had was what you can get in high school, and that is your basic shop class and automotive class. Other than that, it is just a matter of getting your hands dirty and taking something apart to see how it works. Then you've got to figure out how to put it back together. This hands-on and very practical approach to learning would eventually make Koker stand out among many others in the automobile sector. It might have started as a pastime, but by the time he left high school, there was no doubt about where his future lay. He never actually graduated from high school in the typical sense. However, after high school, he went to the University of Nevada. As Koker became older, his father decided to branch out from the car business and bought Channel 33, a Las Vegas TV station. The station's major broadcasts included older movies, sitcoms, dramas, and Christian religious programs. At the time, under the Kokers, the station operated as an independent one focused primarily on local content. It even featured movies such as the scary B-movie Saturday Fright at the Movies. It was this movie that brought Koker into the limelight, as he ended up playing a major role in it as Count Cool Rider. On December 18, 1997, the Koker family sold Channel 33 Inc. to Montecito Broadcasting Corporation, and the sale was finalized on February 3, 1998. However, Koker had left his acting career a few years before to focus on the restoration and customization of cars and bikes. The car that made him choose this path was the very first car he owned, a 1979 Camaro Z28. Koker had taken the car apart and customized it from front to back until it became a street-style Can-Am race car. The success of this project was more than enough to spur Koker into a full-time career. He founded Count's Tattoo Company, a venture that combined his two greatest passions, cars and tattoos. The business soon became popular among tattoo lovers and auto enthusiasts. Koker's dream of owning a business solely focused on car customization and restoration soon came to pass when he founded his shop, Count's Customs, in Nevada. Koker started restoring abandoned cars at this custom shop, and just like his first business, this new establishment quickly gained recognition in the industry. In the early 2000s, Count's Customs became the place to go for anyone looking for quality, and you wouldn't believe the caliber of people that came to the shop. One of them was Rick Harrison of Pawn Stars, who frequently called upon Koker to perform appraisals of vintage muscle vehicles. This allowed Koker to display his brilliance and expert knowledge on TV to millions of viewers. This association with Harrison helped him further cement his position in the automotive community, but it did more than that. Harrison's show, Pawn Stars, aired on the History Channel and was doing really well, so well, in fact, that they were considering spin-offs. Seeing Koker's special abilities with automobiles and his incredible talent for turning rust buckets into dazzling works of art, along with the fact that he already had Count's Customs well established, it was a no-brainer for the producers. Koker was their spin-off, and so Counting Cars was born. The series, which is the third spin-off of Pawn Stars, was filmed in Las Vegas and showed the day-to-day activities at Koker's Count's Customs. Koker's dream was being shared with the world, his father's mentoring, his own personal struggles through the years, and the incredible career he had fought to build had all led to this moment. Counting Cars debuted on August 13, 2012. The pilot episode had Harrison bring in a 1968 Bullitt Mustang. This classic Mustang fastback was rough when it arrived on the show, but Harrison insisted he wanted it transformed into a Bullitt homage, all on a modest budget. Koker and his team worked brilliantly on the car, and the result was a work of art that clearly won over viewers. The first season had 13 episodes, and when it ended, fans wanted more. So, when the second season started, it had twice the number of episodes as the first season. Clearly, people loved it, so much that the show was renewed for a third season. At some point during an exciting episode of the show, Koker and his team took on the task of counting the number of cars in the warehouse. After making their way through a variety of automobiles, including vintage muscle cars, motorcycles, and contemporary sports cars, they concluded there was a total of 1,500 cars within the warehouse at that time. This feat was shared on social media and featured in news articles, contributing to the promotion of the Counting Cars show. The show had established Koker as a legend in the field of vehicle customizing and restoration, so it wasn't surprising when he was given the role of producer within a few years of the show airing. He was already well known locally in Las Vegas prior to Counting Cars. Now, all over the country, he was the car-loving, bandana-wearing, tattooed guy with a beard. He was the leading authority on custom automobiles and therefore the go-to person for questions about customizing cars and motorcycles, and this included Hollywood stars. From Alice Cooper to Tommy Lee, Dee Snider, George Lynch, and Judas Priest, just to name a few, these big names wanted the best, and Koker was it. Even when Ozzy Osbourne wanted a very difficult-to-build custom chopper, he came to Koker. With this connection to big celebrities, Koker got invited to auto shows, parties, and even additional TV appearances. Count's Customs became one of the most popular places in the city, with tourists and auto enthusiasts pouring in from all over. To be honest, this brought in a significant change in financial status, and Koker's entrepreneurial nature kicked in again. He renovated Rock Bar and Grill by Count, which became one of his most notable ventures. He also founded Count's Vamped, a unique Las Vegas establishment known for its fusion of Gothic aesthetics, motorcycle culture, and rock music ambience. Despite the fame and money, Koker encountered a number of problems. A simple legal issue changed the whole story and exposed a dark, shocking secret he had been hiding for years. Given the nature of his business, it was expected that Koker would have to deal with the occasional legal headache, like when a couple who brought their 1967 Ford Mustang to be modified, in the hopes that it would appear on TV not long after Counting Cars began, filed a lawsuit against Koker's company in 2014. According to the $50,000 lawsuit, the couple wanted a refund because they found out that no work had begun on the car and that the car was not even the type they had in mind. The case was settled soon after. Clearly, it wasn't so serious that Koker should receive a jail sentence or be placed under arrest. 3 years later, however, he faced another legal problem when a $75,000 lawsuit was brought against a former employee of Count's Customs who was allegedly receiving payments from Koker's company as payment for controlled narcotics. After investigation, it was discovered that the narcotics belonged to Koker, and he was sentenced to 30 days in jail. Many were shocked to learn of the arrest, and the disclosure of Koker's unreported battle with drug addiction was a shock to the industry. Fans couldn't believe that Koker, who was basically a role model thanks to his reputation as a cool individual who loved his automobiles, was struggling with addiction. It was inevitable that his business and career would suffer as a result of these series of events. The future of Counting Cars was a source of anxiety, and Count's Customs came under fire. After spending time in jail, Koker decided to follow through on his sobriety, using the same level of resilience and dedication he had shown in his business and reality TV career. Since then, despite newer legal problems, he hasn't been taken into custody, and he was able to win back the respect of his clients and fans thanks to his openness about his difficulties and commitment to his recovery. Koker's commitment also extended to his music. His club, Count's Vamped, played a significant role in keeping his music alive. The club garnered popularity among both residents and tourists because Koker managed to create a distinctive and welcoming atmosphere through his love of retro style and rock music. At some point, the guitarist who hosted the weekly jam night found out that Koker used to do music, so he would get him to come up on stage and sing with him. Eventually, some other people were invited to sing, and a particular group that included Koker ended up on the same stage at the same time, and they played so well together. According to Koker, it just felt real. It felt great. We all just really gelled. After that night, we sat out on the patio there at the club and talked about how good it felt, and we just decided for the next jam night, why don't we get together? Let's learn a few songs together. Let's rehearse a little bit. So we did that, and then our jam night started to actually draw a crowd. As a jam night, this group ended up becoming Count 77, Koker's own band. He said, when asked about the band coming together, we're rehearsing all the time, and then it grew into basically our own band. So it was really an honest, organic growth from a group of guys that are all about the same age group. We all grew up listening to the same stuff. We're all very passionate about the same type of music. So it happened very honestly like that. Soon enough, Count 77 started opening for bigger bands and continued to play at the club too. As Koker became more successful with counting cars, his band also enjoyed more popularity. The band released its debut album, and one of its most well-known songs is Summer of '77. They were even voted into Blues Rock Review's Top 20 Albums of 2014. When asked what the goal of the band was, Koker said, "I can't say that I have a real goal for this. I just want it to continue, and I want it to be the best that it can be. I'm never satisfied, and neither is anybody else in the band, which is amazing for us. I don't know what the goal is, but I can just tell you that all 6 of us are very dedicated to this band. All 6 of us are dedicated to working at it for real." Succeeding in the automobile business and in music, it seemed like everything Koker touched turned to gold. We assume that there are fans who don't know that Koker doesn't get all the credit for his success. There's a private life behind the glamour that includes Koker's long-standing marriage to Corey Koker, a gifted musician and businesswoman. Years before the deal for counting cars would even come to the table, Koker and Corey got together, 2 people who enjoyed both cars and rock and roll. From Count 77 to Count's Kustoms, Corey has played a major role in all of them, especially Count's Vamped, in which Corey has been heavily involved in operating. She has been the force in the background that keeps things efficient. The couple has managed to juggle their prosperous careers while generally avoiding public scrutiny in their personal lives. However, some bits and pieces still come out. The couple's marriage had been the subject of speculations that claimed Koker's hectic schedule caused stress in their married life. At the time, fans believed the future of their business empire would collapse if the couple had split, but rather than addressing these rumors in public, the couple chose to keep their private business private. Another issue that worried fans was the rumor that Corey had experienced a health crisis, which caused her to temporarily step away from her position at Vamped. There were other reports circulating on the internet claiming she had passed away in an automobile accident. Even though these details weren't entirely verified, fans still voiced their support and well wishes for Corey, highlighting how much the couple meant to the Las Vegas community and beyond. And when she returned to work, people were simply glad to have her back at Count's Vamped. One thing is certain, despite the rumors, the couple's relationship remains as strong as ever. Despite the demands of fame and business, Koker has periodically voiced his gratefulness for having a partner who shared his passions and understands the responsibilities of his job. After 10 seasons and 184 episodes, the curtain was drawn over counting cars in 2021. Despite this being the end of the show, it was still applauded for being one of the History Channel's most successful shows. In fact, fans kept hoping for news of a season renewal, but none was forthcoming. Since Koker still owns Count's Kustoms, he decided to keep a door open for as many fans as possible who wanted to get a taste of the show. According to the official Count's Kustoms website, free tours of the shop are available on a daily basis, showcasing some of the most memorable builds from the show's history. In fact, they built a museum there too so that fans could get full satisfaction. Truth be told, counting cars did change the face of reality television, especially in the automotive restoration category. This effect can be seen in the newly established standards for reality TV programming. For example, the way counting cars blended the technical aspects of car restoration with the individual tales of the team members was something that had not been done that well before. It's no wonder it lasted so long. With the show done over 3 years ago, Koker has shown no signs of slowing down. He is still the celebrity mechanic who is also an actual recording artist, with not 1 but 2 full-length albums. However, there have been occasional rumors about his health that circulate on social media. There is no clear indication that he is currently dealing with any illness or health issues. He is reportedly believed to be in good health. To prevent his fans from being scammed and lied to, he tweeted on X, formerly Twitter, "I am personally on Twitter only. While my companies are on all the platforms, I am personally only on Twitter. There are fake DK accounts on FB and other platforms, not me. Don't fall for it." Reported. Presently, Koker is reported to be worth about $4 million, with over 100 personal automobiles, which includes about 70 motorcycles and almost 55 cars, some of which he inherited from his father, who had passed away in 2008. Koker may not be on TV as he used to be at some point, but his legacy effectively connected a niche industry to its fans. His show made a complex thing more relatable and engaging for the audience. This has given other reality programs the opportunity to explore lesser-known niches and communities. Koker's narrative is one of resilience, from his childhood passion for cars, which was well announced through a widely successful Counting Cars, to the unexpected jail time. Koker's journey inspires many to remain determined and keep their foot on the gas of their dreams until they arrive at their desired location in time.